Update now on a high-speed chase which is going on. This is the northeast side of town. You can see that vehicle right there. It's a sedan. It's being followed and surrounded by several police officers. It's the Houston police, as well as the county is out there. They have been on this guy for probably the last 10 to 15 minutes or so, and he just does not want to stop. The question is, what is his plan and what does he want to do? I don't know whether we have Don Armstrong and live in Sky Eye. Not sure who is up there. But once I get word on who is up there, they can give us a little bit further word as well on what's happening.
Don Armstrong.
Don, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Don. Yeah, what can you tell us? I mean, as I've been watching this, it's just he's not really going at a super high rate of speed, but he's certainly moving along at a clip that he clearly doesn't want to stop.
No, does not want to stop. And as you can see, the sheriff's car just joined in on this, mainly being chased by HPD. I think that's the way it started. We're coming up here on the Beltway, and as you can see, it looks as though that car is going the speed limit, to be honest with you, Art.
Yeah.
It first was reported as a slow speed chase, but it's neither high nor slow. It looks like it's going the speed limit. We don't know why this car is being stopped or had tried to be stopped and why they are on the run. But obviously, as you can tell, that they're not pulling over for the number of deputies that are behind them, as well as Houston police officers. This is, as you mentioned, going on now for about 10, 15 minutes. And at one point, just before you came to us, an HPD car pulled up next to it. And then this particular car, it looks like a silver Volvo, if I'm not mistaken, actually tried to, I wouldn't say sideswipe it, but moved over into the lane that the police car was in. So they backed off. But as you can see, other cars, other police vehicles are up ahead of them and behind them. So they're obviously not going to lose this chase.
You know, if there's anything, and if there's anything good to report here, Don, it's certainly that the freeway at this point is open. We're talking about 59 Northeast Harris County. This is the East Tex Freeway. So they're going to be approaching the Beltway, or is that the Beltway? No, that's just one of the ramps for, I think, the HOV. But they're going to be approaching the Beltway. Is that right?
That's correct. And we're going to be coming up on Intercontinental Airport space, so not exactly sure whether they're going to let us transition through the airspace. We're just going to have to wait and see. That's our pilot's job, Randy Hardaway, who's piloting Sky Eye this afternoon.
Okay. You wonder whether he's going to take... You see cars pulled over there, so there must be officers way ahead sort of clearing the path. And that's always so very dangerous, especially when you get a high-speed chaser, high-speed runner here. He just doesn't want to stop. You know that there are going to be problems, people on and off the freeway. And what they always attempt to do is just try and clear a way, make a path for the person so that he doesn't bump into anyone.
Well, it's amazing that at this time of the afternoon, the beginning of the afternoon rush, that there aren't many other cars on the freeway headed outbound to begin with. So, and based on the speed of the car, you can tell that it's just not a problem. There is somewhat of a backup behind it because it is going slower than the rest of the freeway traffic, because as you know, most of Houston freeway traffic doesn't mind the speed limit anyway. Yeah,
and they just passed the North Beltway, by the way. There's that was all the interchange which you saw before that as you were on a wide shot. That was the northbound Beltway. So here they continue to move. And if at this point they're going to be reaching Kingwood soon, and who knows how long he's going to stay on this freeway. But he doesn't seem to be interested in making any exit, Don.
No, it doesn't appear to be. He's over in, looks like lane number 2. The second from the left, and it looks as though that they're headed up to East Texas. I don't know how else to put it. It's amazing that we're doing the speed limit here. I'm not quite sure why they allow this to continue, and why not do the pit maneuver on it. I understand that state law has changed, and in some cases that is allowed now. But it certainly is annoying that all of the traffic is backed up, and this is going to be a scene, as you know, when this finally comes to an end. And it just really puts a crimp in the afternoon drive.
Well, and they certainly had opportunity to do it, Don. As we watched the Houston Police Department as well as the county, they had surrounded this vehicle. They were right there on the side of it, and they could have easily done a pit maneuver because no one was in front. But Apparently, they just have to be very, very careful, especially at speeds when they're traveling at 60 miles an hour or higher. You know, you could cause a rollover if you're doing a pit maneuver.
And to that point, good afternoon,
right,
Don. This is Elisa Rivas here. I'm joining Art Rascone. You know, as you get farther northbound right now, you head toward the river, you head toward Humble, Kingwood, as Art mentioned, and the highway starts to get elevated. So you do worry about causing any kind of a crash and causing some additional damage or injury that might go along with really going off of the freeway because this is such an unpredictable situation.
Right.
Continuing to watch now, we're looking at a sedan, that gray one, silver one, right there in the middle of your screen. It continues to move. They have no intention of stopping. That's a pretty nice Volvo. You know, that has a V6 underneath that has the power to really move, but he's certainly not using that power. I mean, this guy's traveling the speed limit. We don't have any indication as to why he's running, though, right, Don?
No, not as we know so far, Art. It just appears as that we're doing the speed limit in lane number 2, and we are headed northbound out of town, headed up to East Texas on the East Texas Freeway.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy's thinking. You know, maybe he just thinks he's just out on a Sunday drive, and he's not aware of the police around him. But he has to be running for some reason. We don't know why. We're trying to gather that information. As soon as we do, we have our desk here looking into several indications as to why he might be running. There are multiple agencies clearly involved here. Houston Police Department is still all around him, as well as the county. You have the county. Chambers County, did it start in Chambers County? Is that what we're hearing, Alona?
Yeah, they called and asked for some help from HPD.
Wow. Oh, okay. So if it started in Chambers, that's way south, yeah.
They just passed the park and ride, so they are now passing through Humble, getting up toward Kingwood. If we can see around this, are we seeing other law enforcement agencies like local PDs joining in on this? Are we seeing more law enforcement or just the same ones following this driver?
Well, we did see HPD and Harris County Sheriffs. I don't know whether they have dropped off, and I really don't want to lose sight of the person that is running. But as you can tell, Department of Public Safety is here, not only on the ground, but they're also in the air with us here following above. And one of the things that I did notice just a moment ago, the Department of Public Safety cruiser really flew past this car to try to get ahead of him. One of the issues here is the fact that if they're not going to do the pit maneuver, so are they going to place out spike strips? Well, if that's the case, they're going to have to clear the freeway so that officer can go ahead and lay out spike strips and somehow maneuver all of the traffic into one area where not everybody gets affected by the spike strips and only the person that's being pursued. We just don't know how this is going to play out. I mean, this could go on for miles the way it's looking right now.
Seen spike strips used many, many times, and most of it is just, you know, it's a 12-foot strip. We're talking about an entire freeway that's 40, 50 feet long. They don't even have a spike strip that long. So they can easily maneuver themselves around those spike strips, especially on an open lane.
Yep. And
open
you know,
freeway.
something else that might be coming into play here, guys, is that we are hearing from the Chambers County Sheriff. This has been going on 20 to 25 minutes. This started as a traffic stop. No crime was committed, but they believe there is the possibility of that driver being impaired. Now, as we've been watching this particular part of the chase anyway, we haven't seen a lot of signs of that. Not a lot of erratic driving. This is definitely a driver that's staying in their lanes, but they have reason to believe that that driver may be impaired, so perhaps they're taking some extra precautions because of that as well. But as we said, we've been seeing pretty stable driving here. Right. We haven't seen any erratic driving. He doesn't seem to be really speedy. And you see that vehicle right there on the side on a different lane, which is on the other side. That's a lifted lane, the HOV. But he's not even going much faster than anyone else. Well, something's up ahead because everyone else is slowing down. Let's see what he does here. He's going off to the side. They've stopped traffic. He's just going to go right through there. They've probably forced him through an area where they had, did you see that, Don? It looks like spike strips through the entire street.
That's what we're guessing.
Yeah, they had several of them.
I was not able to confirm that. You know, the other thing, too, Art, that I might want to mention is the fact that you don't know anything about this driver. This driver could be armed, and we have to approach it just that way, that you just don't know at this point exactly what's going to happen.
And it looks like it's slowing down.
Yeah, his vehicle is, all his tires are blown at this point. So let's see what he does. He's clearly off to the shoulder.
Almost at a stop, but then he kept rolling sort of at the last second there. But we do believe that those tires are probably flat because the slowdown happened right after we believe they drove over some spike strips. I know that you've got to sort of get positioned over all of these different overpasses here in this spot. Let's see what this person does behind the wheel. But clearly those wheels are, yeah, it looks like they're flat. So the tires will start ripping up here. They'll start shredding soon, and he'll be on his rims or his wheels once those tires shred. So let's see what he continues to do. They're using a lot of patience. They're just stay behind him and follow at a safe distance. You can see those police cruisers are not getting really, really close because Don made a great point. This could be an armed driver. You know, they don't know what it is that they'll be up against when this vehicle comes to a stop, so they have to take all safety precautions. Being very careful. And Don, what we have seen repeatedly is a lot of patience by Houston Police Department and even the county as well with these chases. They sometimes just let them play out, believing that eventually they're going to stop. But you know, there's opportunity to do something here. Go ahead.
To get him, bring him to a stop.
Yeah, looks like they may try and box him in here. Let's see if they have a vehicle up ahead. Right there on the side of him, they could probably, you know, just, who knows, rolling down the window and trying to talk to him. I don't know. Let's see what's happening here. I suppose if they feel like they don't need to get in an accident, there's probably no reason to. Though they are probably wanting to make sure that this person does not exit the freeway. On the freeway, you're kind of trapped up there. There's retaining walls, but it looks like he's going to go for the exit, perhaps. Look at the big pickup they have there. It has that front end grille. That's like almost a ramming vehicle. Yeah. They have it all prepared. Yeah, that was Kingwood Drive that we just saw, right? Yeah, they're getting ready to exit here. If that's the Kingwood outlet stores right there on the side. So they have it blocked. They're going to stop him. They have the guns drawn. They're telling him, they're yelling at him right now. You can see with their motion of their hand. And this person is totally surrounded at this point. Yeah. Multiple officers, multiple agencies surrounding. There's no place to go, but he's going to try and go. There he goes. He's going to go right around the officers. Well, that was attempt number one to stop him. Actually, number two, because the spike strips certainly didn't work.
Getting off of the East Tex Freeway at Kingwood Drive exit, as we saw, they are still really staying close to him, trying to get him to pull over. Well, let's see. Oh, okay. All right. Now, this is where stupidity really comes into play here. Now he has reversed his position on the feeder, but there are so many officers around him. Ooh, they finding ways through. I think they missed a chance. They probably could have put that vehicle right there in front and stopped him, but he is going now the opposite direction on the feeder. He's clearly blocked by all of those other vehicles. No chance. Now he's going into the outlet store. You know, area right there. This is off of Kingwood Boulevard, right there, just off the feeder. Yeah, this is obviously a spot where we're going to find plenty of other people, plenty of vehicles parked. And so, you know, you certainly hope that people get the word that there's something going down and they need to stay inside and stay safe until this comes to an end, because, you know, the officers are specifically not, you know, engaging him with their vehicles. They're not causing accidents. Yeah. They're just trying to let this peacefully play out. But it also looks like there's some employees out there at this U-Haul location that are probably sort of unaware of what's going on. There they have. They've come out with, they're trying to open the door now. Well, I'm sure they have. You saw the guns. The guns are drawn right there on that driver. Let's hope that he stops. They have the driver's door open. They're going to probably yank him out at this point. That canopy is sort of in the way. We're not able to get the complete picture, but it looks like this may be over and he doesn't have a chance of taking off once again. Don, are you having any a different angle?
Well, the best that we can do right now, because of this canopy that's over the scene here, we're going to come around. And it looks as though that they're having a struggle with him. Wow. Got him on the ground now.
Got him on the ground.
This is where the potential impairment probably comes into play, because most people with that many guns on them probably would have popped out of that vehicle, but they literally did have to physically drag him out of that car. And now you can see these officers getting handcuffs on him and making sure that he is not armed, or she. We haven't even gotten a good picture of who this driver is. And again, if you're just joining us, this all started as a traffic stop, but no crime committed to begin with. They had reason to believe that this driver may have been impaired. It looks like this might be a woman, Don?
Yes, it looks like it may be a woman. She obviously is in tears. She's now handcuffed, and they are going to get her up, and they will search her. You may have to even bring in a female officer to do that. But at any rate, she does not, I really can't tell whether or not she is impaired, but there is a good possibility that may be part of the problem here. Not sure.
Well, this is rather a surprise ending. We did have another chase come to an end pretty recently with a woman, but that's actually pretty few and far between with as many of these chases as we have covered.
Yeah, Eric Barajas here, just relieved Art, and yeah, luckily this came to a peaceful end. As far as we know, we didn't see any damage to other vehicles. No one was injured. They've gotten this lady out of the car now, and they're inspecting that vehicle as well as she's taken to the back seat of that patrol car. But this always could have been a lot worse, and that's the silver lining here, especially on Houston streets and what we've seen in the past. Absolutely.
Don, we were talking about this as the chase went on. It looks like they're using some sort of a blanket there to be able to conduct a search on this woman and maybe even get her seated there. But just a lot of patience that played out throughout this chase that went really across much of our city up on the north side, and cooler heads prevailing the whole time, right?
Well, that's right. I mean, we're very thankful that it ended this way. You know, it's a shame that these chases have to go on as long as they do, but sometimes, and in this instance, it appears as though that all of that played out well because nobody seems to be injured.
Yeah, Don, what was also interesting about this chase, since we've seen so many here in the Houston area, unfortunately, is it seemed like there were different tactics used. We saw a lot of boxing in, a lot of vehicles getting ahead of the car. So many times it seems like they just stay behind, several vehicles behind the vehicle that's being chased. It seemed like we saw different tactics and different maneuvers used by police on this one.
Well, you also have to understand, Eric, is the fact that you've got multiple agencies involved: Houston Police Department, Harris County